So here I am with the Dreamtime Divas. We've just performed at the Boomalli Art Gallery, Boomalli Aboriginal Art Gallery, I should say, in Leichhardt in Sydney. Thank you very much to both of you for agreeing to interview today. First of all, I'd like you to introduce yourselves.
Hi everybody, I'm Lacey Dunamet and
I'm Nova Jaina.
Beautiful. Can you tell me a little bit about Lacey Dunamet, because people overseas may not know what the reference there is?
Yep. Lacey, I'm a bit of an ode to a local sister who's a bit of a singer-songwriter celebrity here back at home. So, and her name's Casey Donovan. And, I just had a little bit of a cheek. She's my inspiration, and I've come up with Lacey Dunamet, or two, or three,
So could you tell me a bit about your background? What was it like growing up gay and Indigenous?
Very difficult, very difficult. I suppose difficult in the sense of having expectations from, particularly my mum, wanting more grandchildren, even though she had like 26, 27 of them, knowing very well that, I was a gay boy back then when I came out to her when I was a 13, 14-year-old boy. Just very difficult. I mean, not being accepted by my peers as such, being asked to play a game of football or do all the blokey, manly boy things that, cowboys and Indians and all that stuff. So, I kind of dealt with that at a very late stage in life. Didn't really come to terms and comfortable with myself until I was about maybe 35. I'm now a 42-year-old man, drag queen. But yeah, I have coped with all the ups and downs of just the ignorance of people.
It was a little bit different for me. It wasn't only the Aboriginal side of it, it was also my family was very religious, so there was that whole stigma attached, and we dealt with that whole stereotypical thing that homosexuals are pedophiles and predators and all that kind of stuff. So that was really hard, that was serious, and burly brothers and things like that. So, went through a lot, but come out the other side, fierce and fabulous.
What is the Dreamtime Divas story, and how did you get started and had to get to where you are today?
Well, it really started as a bit of fun for a local gig that we were asked to do, and we were dabbling in drag, and they thought, let's frock up and have a bit of fun. It was for International Women's Week, so we put on a cabaret show, and it went crazy. We sold out 300 tickets, and
where was that?
That was in Kempsey, at our local RSL.
Small town.
Yeah,
a small country town, population of about maybe 26,000 people.
Yeah.
We had the majority of the 26,000 people at that one auditorium. All like family and friends and wider community, the whole community supported us.
And then everywhere we went after that, it was like, oh, that was fabulous, when's your next show? So it was kind of, okay, let's put on another show, let's have fun. And it developed from there. We created the Dreamtime Divas, and then we started to get recognition and a little bit of a platform, and so we wanted to bring our past into it and try and create change and bring on some of the importance of, youth suicide, teen, depression and all that comes along with homophobia, and especially in rural communities in Australia.
Particularly amongst LGBTQI kids, who are finding it difficult to, come to terms with themselves and
who they are,
and just the acceptance and all that. What we all need.
We didn't want to be them drag queens that stand up on stage. Oh, look at me! I'm pretty. I'm so good. We have fun. We try to be a bit, they say serving fish. I'm serving snapper. But anyway, and just do
and
something.
She smells
with
it too.
She fishy.
She smells it
she
too.
She needs to wash her tights. But anyway, that's another story.
So I understand in your hometown of where you were living at the time, Kempsey, you were somewhat of local celebrities.
Yes. We'd be walking up the main street out of drag in our boycott, just being ourselves, boys and all that sort of stuff, and everybody and anybody were just calling out our names by our drag names, Nova, Jaina, and Lacey.
Our birth names are non-existent now. That's
yeah.
Lacey, that's Nova. The pair of sluts,
There they are, the Dreamtime Divas.
Yeah.
But they've claimed us, they own us,
And they're proud of us.
There's a sense of pride with that claim of ownership, and that's a great feeling.
And we want to take that and do something positive with it. We don't want to let them down either, because without them we wouldn't be here today.
That's exactly right, absolutely, yes.
us about your fabulous costumes and makeup, and who inspires you both?
For me, my sister girl Casey Donovan inspires me. She's my inspiration for my character and my looks and things, and my costumes. It's a bit of a buy something, can grab a needle and cotton and add some sequins and hoping it looks good. Yeah, we don't spend a lot of money. There's, we can't, but whatever goes, and we team with the theme. Yeah.
With the theme.
Team with the theme, come on.
Look at me, look at mine, look at mine.
Nice. Different.
Nice, unusual,
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
There's a dream in the future. There's a struggle that we have it to win. And there's pride in my heart, 'cause I know where I'm going. Yes, I do. And I know where I've been. We can travel it.
Nova, I love your makeup above your eyes. Where did that come from?
My inspiration is divine, first and foremost, my queen. And I think, there's a bit of Grace Jones there as well, because she's considered quite eccentric. But then I have American queens, for the likes of Nina, forgive me, sorry. Nina Flowers. Yeah, she's fucking fabulous.
Yeah.
But then there are also a few other Indigenous queens here in Australia, the likes of Destiny Has Arrived and Miscellaneous and JoJo's Ho and Crystal
Josie
Love,
Baker.
Josie Baker, Shaniqua, all my drag sisters, and being
And
in
got to
Australia.
mention Miss Marzipan.
Miss
She's
Marzipan,
our sister,
yes,
whether she's
yes.
black or not.
Yeah.
She flies the
I'm
flag
sure
for
she
us.
likes black.
Yeah.
She's had black in her, so
I've never
she's
seen
there.
anything so
Dramatic.
fabulous as your makeup. It's really
Unique.
stunning.
It's
Thank
unique.
you so
It's
much.
really stunning.
I'd like to think that it's quite unique, Barry. It just has been something I've been working over on the last 4 years.
What songs do you like to perform to?
All kinds of songs, from country to ballads, pop.
I'm a bit of a ballad queen. I give good mouth.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
So, I go with, serve what I can, but, I don't mind the odd boppy, bit of everything.
You sing quite a lot of Whitney Houston last year at the
Nova does, yeah.
Whitney and Beyonce are quite my shtick. I'd like to think, I feel their songs, and I feel like as if I portray, with emotion, the songs themselves.
I love big power ballads, so like Jennifer Hudson and the big voices, that kind of stuff. Christina Aguilera, her vocal ability, and to be able to match that with lip syncing, that's where I'm at. I give good mouth. Yeah.
She sure does. Being the fiance too.
Yeah. No kaka.
No. We're sisters, never.
You were doing support work with LGBT Indigenous youth in the Kempsey area. Can you tell us a bit about the Dreamtime Divas mission statement, if you like?
More or less, we want to raise awareness for youth depression and teen suicide. For homophobia to affect our young people so much that they're taking their own lives, that's something we've got to help with. We have a platform. Let's do something with it, and that's what we're about.
Well, and the thing about it too, as well as raising the awareness of our LGBTQI kids, committing suicide. It's such a such a rate that it's just ridiculous.
It's huge. The
It's
statistics
huge.
in Australia are overwhelming.
But with that, we're hoping that we're touching, mums and dads, general mainstream audiences, with even just mainstream children who are going through mental health issues that, they just need to be recognised, and their issues need to be sort of dealt with. Acknowledged, and sort of, hopefully addressed.
And our main audience, what we've found, and that's the difference between us and a lot of the other queens, is our main audience is mainstream community. You know, we don't have gay paths where we're from or gay clubs and things like that. So our audience is mainstream community, heterosexual, married couples, elders, everything. So without that direct message, it's more of being us, being fabulous, these people loving us and accepting us for us, and these younger generations seeing us be accepted and make them feel, oh, it's okay. You know, if they can frock up and go to that extreme, it's not so hard to just come out.
And Nova, you had an example in your own family of someone who took their own life.
Probably about a year ago now. It was his anniversary. My 19-year-old nephew at the time, he'd committed suicide, and so his name was Balin Hoskins, and his parents approached us, the Dreamtime Divas, and asking for this year's Mardi Gras, 2018 Mardi Gras, if we could lead a Balin's gift.
They've created a foundation in his honour, and they're rolling out programs across all our local schools, primary schools, and targeting these issues. Hey, sexual diversity, gender diversity, and all that kind of stuff.
So they've tapped into Headspace and Beyond Blue, so they're quite renowned Australian, probably international organisations where they're dealing with mental health issues and concerns that concern our kids, basically. But there are quite a few gifts around Australia. So with that, they've actually, with the children, the parents of the children, they've created gifts as well. So there's quite a few that
together.
They're all collaborated, and so with pride, we've been asked this year to lead Balin's Gifts, which is what we're all about. And if we can hopefully help get that message out, as Lacey mentioned, if it takes us getting dressed up in a frock, 4.5 fucking hours to do it, then so be it, because we have fun and we have quite a following here in Australia. It's really quite an experience. But to have that platform, I think, is a good thing for any queen. And if there's a message that they can help anyone and everybody, then we're all for it as well. Yeah, we're all for it.
Nova, you took part in the recent Miss First Nations contest in Darwin. What is the contest and how did it go?
The Miss First Nations contest was our first ever all Indigenous drag queen competition. So there were initially 7 of us contestants, but one of them had dropped out through, I don't know what reasons, but 6 of us. It was quite similar to RuPaul's Drag Race, where we were asked to go through and do particular looks and photo shoots. A couple of the queens got into cages with crocodiles, with this perspex fucking boxes in front of them, like, no, you're the crazy girls, you can have that, you can win that, all for it. But it was just all about showcasing our, unique, I think, Indigenous drag queen personas and just putting ourselves out there, because whether a lot of you guys know, it's really difficult that if you walk into any particular gay bar in any Australian cities, there's not a great many representatives of Aboriginal Indigenous drag queens here in Australia. So, hoping that this can...
it was a huge platform for all us sisters. We started a few years ago and there was one sister that we knew, and now there's plenty, and we're all in together and we have a huge sisterhood and we've got each other's back, and we're going for it.
Nova, you also appeared in the film Black Divas. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Black Divas was the Black Divas film is a production from Kalori Productions and Persky Productions as well, and so during the week leading up to the Miss First Nations competition in Darwin last year, back in September I believe it was, they followed all of us contestants with our private lives. So it was us in our home lives, our day jobs, and all that sort of stuff. And so all 6 of us were followed around, and just the lead up to
and then documented the whole
Miss First Nations for the week long that it was happening, and then probably a week after the sort of see how we were feeling after it all.
And that's going to be shown in the States now, I hear.
It's creating a lot of momentum at the moment. I'm pretty sure it's been the #1 film within the Sydney Queer Film Festival for the 40th anniversary of the Mardi Gras. We're doing our first red carpet next week. Yes.
Brilliant.
So
Media sluts.
Yes.
Media sluts.
Big sluts. Yes.
You're such talented performers. How difficult is it to break into the mainstream drag performing scene in Australia?
I don't know how difficult it is with mainstream. It's not really something that's on our
Why aren't you
agenda.
performing on Oxford Street? Why aren't you performing in Melbourne?
Yeah. I think,
In-
well, location's a big thing. We don't live in the city. So I have performed on Oxford Street within the Drag Nation competition that they have every year, and that's national. But yeah, I think it's more, we're not that club city queen that's there to perform, to be fabulous. We've got a message, we've got a passion, we've got a drive, so it's everywhere else we want to be.
It's location too. It's got a great deal to do with location. So, being here in Sydney now, we've had our flights, return flights and accommodations and our fees and all that sort of sorted and blah blah blah. But if we were to have travelled to where we live, back up in the country, we've just recently moved from Kempsey, a population of about 26,000, as I've mentioned before, to an even smaller community called Coraki in New South Wales on the east coast, which is like 700 or 800 people. I don't know. I never really took any
It's
notice.
events like this, Corey Gras this week leading into Mardi Gras, and that's when we do get our city gigs. We're here tonight, we've got a show tomorrow night at Carriage Works, and we're also performing at the famous Imperial Hotel in Erskineville on Mardi Gras
That's where
Parade
they shot
night. So
Priscilla
where they
Queen
shot
of
Priscilla.
Priscilla.
So
Yes.
we're honoured to be performing there at such an iconic venue. So
Yes.
That's
it's
exciting.
great.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
And lastly, what is the future now for the Dreamtime Divas?
Well, I think with this Black Divas film and
Viral.
but we're going to be poxed up, so we're going to need, STD
Yes.
pills and tablets and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But this
Penicillin,
is
love.
Penicillin.
Penicillin.
Well, we'll take
gonna
what
go
we can.
viral.
We'll
Yeah.
take what we can, but we believe that this is going to go international with film festivals
Yeah.
throughout the world.
Yeah.
So I've been told,
Yeah.
and
And we wanted to open those doors for those young queens and the next generation under us, Aboriginal queens who only ever see white queens on stage or in cinema or on theatre, The doors are open now, sisters. Go for it, go hard or go home.
very exciting. Very exciting.
Nova and Lacey, thank you very much for your time today.
And thank you, love.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you.
Mwah.
Our pleasure, darling.
You big
Hey,
hunky spunk.
America.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, RuPaul.
Call me.